everyone, hope you're all very well. Bernard here, welcome to the Citizen channel with our little big match analysis, haven't we? We look back at a good night, wasn't it? Manchester City 4, Crystal Palace 0, 17th of January 2021, 7:15 kick-off at the Etihad. Obviously, not a bad night. And can I just say, happy birthday, Pep. I believe it's his 50th birthday today. Yeah, he's nearly as old as me. Well, not quite. It's about 11 and a half years difference, but there you go. You're only as old as you feel, aren't you? I feel about 70 at the moment. I'm tired, but there you go. That's fair enough. I'm sure I'll liven up. So a couple of days off now, so I'll liven up. Yeah, so happy birthday, Pep. All the best, mate. Anyway, yeah, we'll have our match analysis. A look at the stats. The Manchester Evening News, Mr. Bukowski's player ratings, my little player ratings. I don't always agree with Mr. Simon Bukowski last night. 3 or 4 players we have differences of opinion. We'll have our quirky stats and any conclusions we can make about City and Palace. Actually, just have a quick word on Palace. And obviously, I've not seen much of them this season, but we'll have a word on that as well. So please join me for this big match analysis. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. I've just got through 600 subscribers now, so let's get up to 700. Let's get up to 700 hopefully before the end of February. That'd be fantastic if we can do that. And please check my playlist for City history stuff and City present stuff. And I've got some news for you at the end. A little slight change in stuff at the end. Just one of my preview is going to be changed slightly, and there's going to be another little feature that I'm introducing, so stick with me for that to hear about that. And if you do check the playlist, of course, if you're into films and TV, I have a little film and TV channel as well where I review films and dramas, etc., and information vlogs on what's out to buy, stuff like that. So if that's any interest, have a look at that as well, or you might know someone who might be interested in that. If you can point them in my direction, and I'll stick a couple of links on the screen there for Facebook and Twitter as well. So if you want to message me about anything, any information, anything you want about any subject you want in the world, just follow or friend me, and I will reciprocate. I do check every 2 or 3 days, and I'll get back to you on that one. Right, so there you go. Comments as well. Leave your comments. Any thumbs ups are great. Please, thumbs ups are nice. It's nice to get views. I'm getting more and more views as obviously subscribers increase. But it's nice to get thumbs up. If you can't leave a comment, just give us a thumbs up. At least it just makes an old man very, very happy. I'm not 50. Yeah, 62 this year. Yeah, this year now. We're in January, aren't we? See, my brain's going. There you go. No hope. We've got no hope, have we? Right, City starting lineup. Yeah, 4 changes to the Brighton game, wasn't there? Edison, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko, Fernandinho, Gundogan, KDB, Bernardo, Sterling and Jesus. On the bench, we've got Stefan, Rodri, Torres, Mendy. Nice to see Torres back. Mendy, Mahrez, Cancelo, Foden, Delap and Doyle. I got 8 right, so that's not too bad. I did have Cancelo in there. Obviously, I wasn't too perturbed to see Walker in there if he's giving Cancelo a rest. And I did have Rodri, but I've certainly no complaints about Fernandinho being in there instead of Rodri. And I did have Foden starting, but perhaps he's saving him for Villa, which in theory was probably a tougher game of the two, wasn't it? But he got a little bit of got a few minutes last night anyway, didn't he? Social media, yeah, Mr. Simon Bukowski, I think he's a bit tongue-in-cheek with this. When he said he was at the Etihad for the traditional Sunday 7:15 p.m. kick-off, yeah, so there's a bit of tongue-in-cheek. He went on to say, let's hope both sets of players can respect the virus when celebrating goals. Not so much tongue-in-cheek, and not again recklessly endanger the nation. So I think that's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek as well. So a bit of humour from Mr. Bukowski there, which is quite nice to see. BSK_MCFC, Pep benching an informed Cancelo for Walker, who hasn't played like in a month in a crucial Premier League game, is stupid. Yeah, probably a bit of hindsight, but you're probably right there, mate, weren't you? We'll have a word on Walker later, obviously in the ratings. Lewis and Jordan, obviously at City Extra. Just 2 simple words: focus Blues, and that was it. Quite right after the Liverpool United game. We needed to win this, didn't we, last night? And beat at Thatcher's elbow. He wasn't impressed. He said, "I need to chill before kick-off." But that Foden news has really pissed me off. So obviously, pardon the language, but obviously, Mr. Thatcher's elbow. He's never sort of. Don't hide his stuff under a bushel, does he? He comes out and says what he thinks. Referee, of course, was Lee Mason. His linos was Scott Ledger and Tim Wood. 4th official was Andy Madley. VAR was Martin Atkinson. Assistant VAR was Peter Kirkup. Match summation and stats. Here we go. The first 45 minutes. I mean, the first on real half chance was 23 minutes. A long range KDB effort. So they lasted a quarter of the game before we really took any worried them at any stage. Obviously, it was deflected for a corner, wasn't it? I thought he'd shot high and wide, but it took a deflection from a corner, of course. But Sterling, Gundogan and KDB all had 18-yard blasts blocked in the space of a few seconds, didn't they? That was I think at least two of them were on target. Anyway, 26 minutes, a great KDB ball nearly finds Sterling. It ended in a corner, of course, from the corner. We go 1-0 up, don't we? They never really clear it. Obviously, Stones is still in the box. A great ball from Sterling across to KDB and a fantastic at the outside of the foot. Curled it, although Roy Keane wasn't overly impressed, was he? But he's not much impresses him, does he? Let's be honest about it. So he puts a delightful cross in the outside of his boots to the head of, like a Mr. Stones. He rolls like a salmon, didn't he? And fantastic header, great. And his mate did one later on. We'll talk about that, obviously. But 1-0, fantastic goal, fantastic build-up, fantastic goal. So John Stones was still up there from the corner, obviously. 38 minutes, the last real chance of the half. Good play by Bernardo and Gundogan sets up Jesus with a header, but a bit of a weak header. I think he could have done better with that. He's funny at heading, is he? He does look quite good sometimes, and other times he doesn't. But Jesus is struggling a little bit at the moment, isn't he? So that was 1-0. My little comments on here were Palace looked lacking of ideas, they did, but 1-0 needs building on, as Palace surely won't be as bad second half. a little was I to know. And then I put in brackets here at full time, they probably were, but there you go. I think City perhaps were a little bit better as well, because I did make the note that the pace was a lot quicker in that second half. Obviously City upped the pace, which they had to do. I don't think Pep was happy. I don't think most of us are happy with some of the pace of that first half. 56 minutes, of course, it was 2-0. A great individual goal, wasn't it, from Gundogan? I mean, we'll get onto him later. Some people saying, all these people slagging Gundogan should eat the words, but he'd had a pretty poor game. That first half wasn't fantastic from Gundogan, but obviously that was a fantastic goal, so that sort of saved him in my ratings anyway, but more on him in a moment. So that was 2-0. 59 minutes, the first real shot in anger by Palace was blocked. Yeah, 59 minutes on nearly 2/3 of the game. They were fairly poor, weren't they? 60 minutes, Foden came on, Bernardo went off. 60 minutes, I think it summed up Walker's game, really. A foul throw against Walker. It looked like a foul throw as well, but I think that just about summed Walker's night up as well. He didn't have the greatest games, but again, more on him in a minute. 62 minutes, a good chance for KDB, hit it wide. 68 minutes, it was 3-0. Yeah, I mean, obviously, KDB corner, and as Stones did, Diaz wrote fantastic header from Diaz. I mean, it could have gone in the goal. The goal, he didn't know much about it. It was near him, he said, but a fantastic leap from Diaz. But fortunately for us, it leapt to the man. It rebounded to the man informed, didn't it? And Stones hammered it back in. Fantastic. I even give a little shout, a whoop of joy when that went in from John Stones. 71 minutes, Cancelo and Torres came on. KDB and Gundogan went off. 88 minutes, of course, it was 4-0. Torres wins a free kick, doesn't he, on the edge of the box. Quite close. You don't usually score from there, but I don't know what the keeper was doing. I think he slightly moved to his right, which meant he was a bit slow getting back to his left when Sterling buried it. But all credit to Sterling. I don't think the keeper did too much wrong, but he should be. That's the gap where it went is where he should have been. He should have been watching, because that's not where the wall was. So, yeah, not the greatest night for the keeper last night, for Palace's keeper. Yeah, the ref watch, I mean, mate, he was okay, but there's a couple of silly decisions where he give for both sides, I think, where he gave free kicks or fouls, and there wasn't even a foul involved. I mean, so obviously my basis is 6 for the rest. I'm going to give Lee Mason a 5.5. I don't like him. I don't think he was that fantastic. I think he's put a little bit of weight on. I don't think he's keeping up with play. So, yeah, I'll give him 5.5 out of 10 last night. The match stats, shots 13 for City, 2 on target. Obviously, that doesn't allow for ones that are blocked. Crystal Palace, 6 shots for Palace, 0 on target. As I said, I know at least 1 or 2 of those were blocked by City players, so they probably were on target. It's a bit of a funny stat, that, isn't it, when it doesn't allow for the fact of whether something's blocked or not. Possession 73% for City, so just 27 for Palace. Passes, jumbo jet of passes for City, 747. Jumbo jet of passes for City, 288 only for Palace. Pass completion, very good. It was about 88, 89 first half, but it went to 90% by the end of the game. So that was a lot better in the second half. Faster pace, faster passing, really good. 90% for City completion, 72% only for Palace. Fouls, we won the fouls again. We've been losing the fouls, haven't we? We committed 9, Palace committed 8. So that's unusual considering the domination we had, that we actually won the fouls last night. Corners, well, yeah, we sort of scored from a corner, didn't we? Sort of impact, not directly, obviously, but 11 corners for us and just 1 for Palace. Yeah, so we're going to the player ratings. I'll give you Simon Bukowski's and then my little rating. I'm going to start my basis last night on a good team performance. So my average rating for a good standard display is 7. So obviously if they didn't, in my opinion, meet up to that, it'll be less than 7. If they improved, it'll be something over 7. So let's go through this. I'm not sure what Simon's are, but he has been generous with some, but not with others. A bit of a mix from Simon last night. Ederson, confident, commanding on the rare moments he needed to be, staring easy out while the youngster's attempted lob went over the bar. Summed up his control of proceedings. I think a bit tongue-in-cheek today, isn't he, Simon? He's given him a 7. Yeah, I'm going to give him the basic standard steady Eddie 7. As I said, there was certainly, based on what we saw, there was no shots for him to save. The rival blocked or went wide. So no, but I can't give it any less than a 7 because he didn't do anything, and he certainly wasn't caught off his line like the commentator tried to intimate last night. As though he was way off his line. It wasn't that bad. He was nowhere near, obviously. Walker, vocal in organising the team, but far too many loose touches and passes, creating unnecessary problems at the back, as well as losing the forward creativity that Cancelo brings in the position. Yeah, he's given him a 5. Yeah, I mean, I'd give Walker 5.5. I mean, I think he was City's worst player on the night. I couldn't even take a throw in properly, could he? So yeah, I can't disagree with Simon's too much, but I will give him a 5.5, which isn't too bad. Stones arguably threatening Ruben Diaz as the best defender at the club on this form. A first league goal for City, then a second, and what feels like a gazillionth clean sheet. 9th to be pedantic for the season. So he's given him a 9. Yeah, I'm not going to give him much less. 8.5. That's to be my highest, I think, one of the highest I've given in all time, I think. There were some minor errors. There were a couple of where he gave the ball away a couple of times. But, hey, not everyone's perfect, are they? And so, hey, 2 goals. What more can we ask? A good, solid defensive display as well for what he had to do in defence. Diaz, Jordan Ayew got absolutely no change all game, with Andros Townsend similarly quiet. Another example of excellence being normalised. Yeah, so let's give him a 7. Yeah, I'd give Diaz a 7.5. Again, no complaints. Overshadowed by his partner for once. They usually sort of link together, aren't they, Stones and Diaz? But a determined Diaz, and unluckily not to score with that towering header, of course, in the second half. And it was a sort of assist for Stones, wasn't it? Because it ended up back with Stones, didn't it? So it was like an assist for him anyway. Zinchenko played the Cancelo role, happy to get forward down the flank. So opportunities decent enough. Even his preference for deft touches and passes turned promising opportunities into potential problems. He's only a 6. I thought Zinchenko was all right down the left, to be honest with you. He always looks like the one who will let us down and give it away, but he did all right. I thought he did all right up and down that left flank. So I give him a 7. I think he did all right last night, Zinchenko. I think he's had 2 or 3 good games. Ferner, a genuine alternative to Rodri in his old holding role, and he used calmness throughout. He did, as well as being comfortable when slipping into a back 3. Just give him a 7, yeah. Fernandinho, I give an 8. I thought it was superb last night, like the old Werner, wasn't it? Fearless. Can we get another 3 or 4 seasons out of him, perhaps? What do you think? Well, perhaps not, but... yeah, I'll give him an 8 last night. I thought it was excellent last night. Gundoni's worst performance for a while. There you go. Well, it wasn't terrible by any means. Most of the things he tried didn't come off, and he was beaten too easily on a number of occasions. A cracking goal, mind. So he's giving him 6. I thought it was a bit mean. I have given him 7. As I said, if he hadn't scored that goal, I would have been 5.5 or 6. I wasn't overly impressed. He had a really, really bad first half, I thought, Gundogan. But that goal saved him for me anyway. So brilliant goal, well taken at a good time for us as well. So Yeah, I think Simon's 6 isn't far off, but I have given him a 7. I can't give him less than that, so really. KDB, poor for most of the game, and his infuriating ability to shoot or score continued. However, even on a bad day, he's capable of doing things that nearly every professional footballer can dream of, and the assist was filthy. He's given him a 7. I thought he played well last night. I thought it was one of his better games, KDB. I thought it was certainly worth an 8, and obviously that assist for Stones was so sweet, wasn't it? It was superb. So yeah, I thought he had an okay game apart from that as well. I thought he played fine last night, so I'd give KDB an 8. Bernardo, perhaps he was put off by Palace assistant Ray Lewington bellowing left foot every time he got the ball. But to say he received the ball so often he seemed unwilling to take on his man, it's given him a 6. So yeah, I've given him a 7, Bernardo. I'm going to give him the steady 7. I say he didn't do anything badly. He didn't do anything bad. Perhaps didn't go any nice long runs, but I said he got the ball. He was a willing carrier, wasn't he? So yeah, I'm going to give him. I can't give him less than a 7. I don't think, Bernardo. So I think Simon's a bit mean there. Sterling, he worked hard to find space between Palace lines and causing problems. It was his crossfield ball that found De Bruyne for the opener. An intelligent display kept by his excellent free kick. So he's given him an 8. I'm going to echo that. I thought that was one of his best games for ages. He still looks as though he's breaking in those legs for someone else, you know what I mean, half the time, because he runs over things and runs out of things and falls over when no one's near him. But yeah, he does stumble around sometimes. But I was quite happy last night. I think that's one of the highest marks I've given him certainly this season, Sterling. So I give him an 8, and Simon's given him an 8 as well. And of course, that goal all adds to it, doesn't it? Jesus, with his back to goal, is an excellent player. However, it is questionable whether a number 9 should spend as much time taking the ball away from the final third as Jesus did against Palace. He's only given him a 5. Yeah, he's been a bit mean against Simon, but I would have to agree. He's certainly not going to get a 7 from me. I'm going to give him a 6. I thought he was out of sorts last night, but perhaps COVID's to blame. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And perhaps he's like Gundogan needed to do. He needed to settle back down, didn't he, having the COVID. So anyway, Simon only gave him a 5. I think it was a little bit mean. I'll give him a 6, which is still a point less than the average, obviously. Substitutes, the only one I marked, Foden for Bernardo. A lot of running, almost got the end of some ambitious De Bruyne balls. He gave him a 7. I think in that 30 minutes he came on, he did enough to win an extra half a point for me. So I give him 7.5 for a good cameo. He's rated Cancelo a 6. Simon, I've not given him a rating. He's wasn't on the pitch long enough in my opinion. He filled in central midfield to show his versatility, but had little to do with the game. One he didn't. Torres for Gundogan, his first appearance since testing positive for COVID. So he's given him a 6. And again, I've not marked him, but the fact he won the free kick that Sterling's scored must be good, wasn't it? Citizen, my little man of the match. Well, it's got to be, hasn't it? There's only one guy last night got to get man of the match. I think he's got man of the match from most people. So I'll go with the flow, and obviously it's Mr. Big Kahunas himself, isn't it? Obviously it's John Stones. So yes, my City man of the match. I think game man of the match as well. Obviously sometimes it's not always the case, is it? Or sometimes it might be an opposition player. But yeah, I think Mr. John Stones deserved all the credit last night. Quirky starts up to Joe. In what is his 171st game in the competition, John Stones scored just his second Premier League goal in his first for Manchester City, the other coming for Everton against United in April 2015. Manchester City are the first team to record 5 consecutive victories in the Premier League in 2021, while they are now unbeaten in 9 games in the competition. 1-7, drawn 2. Manchester City in all competitions this season with John Stones and Ruben Dias starting. 10 games, 9 wins, 1 draw, 1 goal conceded. That's not bad. Sterling has scored with a direct free kick for the first time in his senior career. I've not checked that. That's a cracker though, isn't it? There's an interesting one. Have a look. Let me know in the comments if that's a load of rubbish. It just seems really odd to me. John Stones has scored the 3rd brace of his senior career for club and country. September 2017 versus Feyenoord in the Champions League. June 2018 versus Panama in the World Cup, and January 2021, of course, last night versus Palace in the Premier League again. Gundogan has scored 4 goals in his last 6 Premier League matches, as many as he's scored in his previous 55 games in the competition. His 6 goals in all competitions this season are his joint most for the club in a single campaign. Well done, mate. Stat City, Kevin De Bruyne has now provided 100 assists in all competitions for Manchester City. There you go. That was John Stones' first goal in the Premier League for Manchester City. Stones has now scored in every competition in which he has appeared for the club, excluding the Community Shield. That's not real, that anyway, is it? John Stones has now scored 7 goals for City in all competitions, overtaking the goal-scoring prowess of Brazilian striker Joe. Oh, poor Joe, he only got 6. Guardiola's never gone 3 consecutive home league games without beating the same opponent in his managerial career, and he's held that record. He's still never gone 3, although that came out before the match, so that was a little bit worrying. City have now won 123 of their 169 Premier League matches under Pep. Happy birthday, Pep. That's a win percentage of 73% in the competition. That's not too shabby, is it? Man City have now won 299 matches at the Etihad in all competitions with a win rate of 67%. Let's make it 300 against Villa, eh? Man City have kept 4 consecutive clean sheets at home for the first time this season and for the first time since July 2020. Well, that's only last year, isn't it? It's not too bad. Headlines, Evening Standard, Man City boosts title hopes. There's a lot of talk about the title, but is it May already? I mean, we're only in January. Man City boosts title hopes as Stones double downs Palace. Independent, Man City run riot against Palace to go second. We do. The Daily Fail noted, Pep insists 2-goal hero John Stones deserved the best after brace against Palace as Graham Souness and Micah Richards lead plaudits for Man City defender playing the football of his life. It certainly is. Sky Sports, Stones double as City overpower Palace to go second. On City's own site, Stones hits a brace as City outclassed Palace. We certainly did. And just a couple of papers I've got here. We've got the Daily Mirror. So they're all going on about down and out and the title's over and things like this, but I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's Stones the Crows, City defender is a goal machine. That's quite funny, Stones the Crows. I do like that, man. That's quite a good one. Stones is on a roll with a great revitalised John strikes a double as Blues blast title message. So, great. All the pictures of the goals as well there on that one. It's fantastic. On the Daily Express, let's go from one extreme to the other. Don't panic, obviously that's Liverpool and United, but obviously a picture there of City players. Don't say all this title talk. It's a bit early for it, in my opinion. Pep's boys lay paving stones for title race. I think that's a bit of a sad title. That is a sad headline. I've been pushing it a bit with that one, aren't they? Really, but hey, there you go. And our own wonderful, of course, Manchester Evening News. Over to blue. United stay top, but it's advantage City in the title race. It's that one. Get past the United stuff. Blues show they can reign with Palace raids. So there's that one. The title and the other one. Stones, I never give up fighting to be a success at City. So there you go. That's that one. That's your headlines. Yeah, conclusion. So yeah, City second. Palace 13th after that game. City, yeah, good effort, good team effort. Not everyone was firing. We did up the pace the second half, so I'm sure Pep had a word. But it was a mixture, I think, of City being pretty good and Palace not being great, were they? But hey, it's a welcome win, and we got with Villa at home. It puts us in a good place for that. And I think there might be 2 or 3 changes to that team against Villa. Yeah, as for Palace, yeah, I mean, with no Zaha as an outlet, they were a bit poor, weren't they? Wasn't that? I mean, I've seen Palace a few times. I mean, that's probably one of the worst I've seen them. Trouble is, they had no one to hold the ball up front, did they? So the ball just kept coming back at them, which obviously you're going to do against City. They put bodies on the line in the way, but I mean, most teams do that against City. But yeah. Bottom half finish. I mean, they're not going to finish anywhere fantastic, are they, in the league? I don't think. That's certainly. Perhaps Roy wants to retire. Perhaps he's. I don't know what his contract is at Palace. Whether it's a rolling contract, I'm not sure. But yeah, they didn't look that good. They're not certainly as good as I've seen them in the past. They did have injuries, etc. But I think they'll struggle this season. But they'll be safe. They certainly won't get. I don't think they get dragged into the relegation zone. I hope not. I mean, as I say, I wasn't overly impressed last night with the players. But it'll be interesting to see how they go on, won't it? In that anyway. Anyway, that's the big match analysis. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back, of course, with a preview of the Aston Villa game, which takes place on Wednesday, the 20th of January 2021 at the Etihad. So that'll probably be on Tuesday. I'll do that. A 7-0 win, like the women got. Did they beat the women beat Villa 7-0? That'll do, won't it? A repeat of that, perhaps, for the men as well. That'd be fantastic. Please check out my little recent Citizen channel vlogs, including of That Was the Week That Was, covering the Birmingham Brighton games. And look out for a new feature. Yeah, I'd say the previews usually have a little bit of a City magazine, what's going on in the media, but I'm just going to extend that a little bit and have its own little show. So I'm going to have something called the One Show, but no, it's not the One Show, it's the One City Show. How about the One City Show? So I'm just I think I'm taking something from some other thing there, but I won't sing the tune, I promise. I won't do a royal family and sing the tune. So look out for that anyway. That's to be a bit of a better look at what's going on in the social media and also the main media as well, and just see what any sort of negative. We'll pick up on the negatives, have a bit of a laugh at the journos and stuff like that. So please keep your eye out for the One City Show. So I'll have a little go. Just a new little feature I'm going to bring in. Hope you enjoy that anyway. But please keep your eye open for that one. Thanks for joining me for this big match analysis. Whatever you do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet again here on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you flit over to my film and TV channel. But whatever it is, all I ever ask of you is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.